Good afternoon, everybody. Appreciate you guys all being here today. Couple big news, a couple things in the news. Xander Bogaerts is a San Diego Padre. What a great day today is. Really quickly, I do need to give. I wrote it down. Andre Curbelo, your flowers. Fantastic job last night by Andre Curbelo. I think he went like 6 for 7. I don't know how many points he had, but I said on the live show yesterday that he didn't scare me, and I have definitely had a couple of DMs from some Illinois fans, and or I'm sorry, some St. John's fans, and he definitely balled out last night. So I got to give him some credit for that. But overall, decent night last night. Show did pretty well. I think we went 4-2 on the show. Florida never got to 5, so I never ended up pulling the trigger. Thank God. But yeah, the unders are hit and stuff like that. DePaul, not a winner either, but wasn't really big on that one. I think VIP picked up close to 2 units or so. Top plays went 4 for 6 and stuff. Couple nice ones. Super short slate today and tomorrow. That's why I think I had like 20 some plays yesterday. And I had said that too on the VIP. There's just a kind of a crappy day today in college basketball. And then tomorrow as well. But there is still a few games on here, so we can rap about them. A couple decent games. Michigan going on the road for the first time in Big Ten play to face a Minnesota team. Head coach Ben Johnson. First and foremost, practice some free throws, guys. 54.9% as a team shooting free throws. I'm trying to back you guys. I'm trying to fade Big Blue as many spots as possible. And you're shooting free throws at 54% as a team. Are you kidding me? I digress. Dawson Garcia, Tion Cooper, both guys are pretty damn good. Look, everybody's on Michigan. I get it. I just don't love the spot for them as far as first road game. 4.5 isn't enough for me with Minnesota, but I will say that it does give me a little bit more confidence considering that line hasn't moved. The issue with me is, like I said, the free throw shooting for one, and then also the Michigan offense. It's just they don't turn the ball over. They're number 3 in turnover percentage. That's just not a recipe. They don't shoot free throws well either. So it's just a lot. It's just a lot to unpack, and it's for me, I can't get there with Minnesota. I would love there. I would lean Michigan here minus the 4. I don't love it. It's not going to be a play for me. But if you're looking at Minnesota, really the only thing that you have is that it's Michigan's first real true road game, I guess. Minnesota doesn't have any wins against a top 150 team. Obviously, Michigan's a top 47 team. They're 47th in KenPom. Minnesota, 3 straight losses to 3 very good teams. I want to make that very clear. UNLV is a good team. I had them yesterday, last night, minus 7.5. I said I thought this game should be at 12. They won by 20. UNLV is legit out on the West Coast. Virginia Tech, another play that we had on yesterday as well that just happened to have a play on them yesterday. Another team, very good, long, lengthy, can shoot. They blasted Minnesota. Again, not huge. It's not a bad thing to lose to some of these teams. Who else did they lose to? Purdue. Purdue's pretty damn good too, right? So now they face a Michigan team. You could argue that after playing Virginia Tech and Purdue, that this is actually a step down in class for Minnesota. So that's where I'm at with this one. Look, I really, really, really want to take the Gophers here. Just really, really hard to get there. With the way that they shoot free throws and stuff like that. And if they shot free throws maybe a little bit better and maybe they took it away at just average, I could get there. But it's just really hard to get there with that. Just for the record, shot quality has this game Michigan 70, Minnesota 62. So small lean again to Michigan as well. But look, it's a hard one. I would really, really, really want to take Minnesota. It's just hard there. So lean Michigan, but I hate saying that. Yeah, we're going to talk about the Colorado game. The St. Thomas, yeah, I'll talk. Tell me what your question is about the St. Thomas game, unless it's just a side, and I'll answer it for you if I can, buddy. Iowa State and Iowa, instantly for me, Iowa minus the 4. I told myself anything under 5, and I was taking Hawkeyes. Iowa. Don't have the number in front of me, but I can tell you right now, just trust me. Iowa under Lon Kruger has been a very, very good. I'm sorry, Lon Kruger. Fran McCaffrey, excuse me. Under Fran McCaffrey, wow. They have been very, very good in November and December in covering the number. Look, Iowa State also very good. Only loss on the year against Connecticut, but this will be a pretty big step up in class against them. They do have some marquee wins, but they're kind of Swiss cheese-like wins, if you know what I mean. Villanova, super down this year, new coach. They played him at the beginning of the year, Swiss cheese. North Carolina, garbage, Swiss cheese. They lost to UConn. That's just a good loss. And then St. John's, who really can't play defense, and they only put up 70, Swiss cheese. I just don't really trust Iowa State right now. I know that TJ Otzenberger has been there for a while now, and maybe this is a time where they actually start getting some games going. If they were to win here tonight, I would be being at Iowa State going forward. But until then, Iowa has probably two. I think they probably Jaron Holmes for Iowa State's pretty good, but Chris Murray and Tony Perkins are essentially the two best players on the floor. They're both play for Iowa. Patrick McCaffrey, the kid's son, can shoot the lights out. Iowa, really, really good with not turning the ball over, and that's where the key is in this game. Iowa, turnover percentage on offense, number 1. Iowa State, number 1 turnover percentage on defense. So one of those is going to have to stop. I do think Iowa does a little bit better job of rebounding. But at the same time, Iowa State has done really good jobs at the offensive boards. I don't really know if that stays. The Iowa three-point shooting, too, that's the one thing that they haven't done well is Iowa has not shot the three ball well. I think playing at home helps. So, and it looks like they're on Iowa State here. So give me the Hawkeyes minus the 4 and a little bit of a fade the public type of spot. But I was already leaning Iowa no matter what. So just not there with the Iowa State Cyclones yet.
I'm seeing comments that this moved up to 6, but I just rechecked and I still see it at 4. If it did move to 6, I'm assuming you would just say move off of it.
Yeah, I wouldn't go past 5.5. 5 would be my max. I made the game 5. 6 would be really pushing it.
Okay.
Game of the night. Rutgers on the road against Ohio State. Give me the freaking points with the Rutgers. I mean, I hate it, but God, I love this team sometimes. First and foremost, let's talk about Ohio State. Solid team. Chris Holtmann really has this team rolling right now. 2 losses on the year, 1 to San Diego State on a neutral. San Diego State's a top 30 team. And then obviously they lost to Duke a couple of days ago. Little bit maybe I do like the spot for them after playing St. Francis team that's 338. They should be ready to roll. But look, Rutgers is legit, guys. Like I truly believe this is when I say legit, I don't mean national championship legit teams, but when you're betting this team on a day-to-day basis, especially getting 6.5 points, it's something to like. Peichel has things going on right now. The offense leaves a lot to be desired. There's no question about that. 111th in adjusted efficiency, 291st in effective field goal percentage. Nothing there is good. They do shoot free throws over 70%, which is pretty damn solid. They also are getting healthy too, and that's the thing. Paul Mulcahy is getting more and more healthy. They've got Caleb McConnell back. And now you add him with, Clifford Amore, who's been actually very, very good for them this year. I understand that Ohio State has Justice Suing and Zed Key and all those guys down low. I just think that this is a defensive battle. It's at 137. I lean under, and I lean Rutgers at 6.5. You might even be able to get more if the money keeps on coming in on Ohio State. And I get that. The Ohio State our offense is very good. Second in adjusted efficiency. There's nothing that the Ohio State offense doesn't do. This is literally defense versus offense in its purest form right here. Ohio State a little bit more experienced. Rutgers' length, I think, is going to be the difference. I think it's going to be a little bit harder for Ohio State to get the open looks from three that they've been so accustomed to. Rutgers is number one in the country in limiting opponents' three-point percentage. So, yeah, I'm all over it. Give me Rutgers plus the 6.5, baby. Let's go Scarlet Knights.
I will say I was just looking at Action 2, and the money and the bets are both on Ohio State as well. So it's a nice sharp play.
Yeah, man, I'm super sharp. You didn't know that, Beaver?
No, you're not the mayor of Sharptown like I am, but maybe you have like a 2-day pass.
Yeah, that 2-day. First of all, and just keeping record though, my public Pete play yesterday, Pittsburgh won, just for the record. So
of course.
All right, Marshall and Duquesne. Get Marshall out of there. You know we going Dukes, baby. Give me Duquesne minus. Wow, it's 2.5 now. Okay, hold up. All right, maybe 2.5. Might be type Marshall there. I was leading Duquesne at home, but man, that's Duquesne is catching some money here. Hold on, let me double check what my Duquesne insider had told me really quickly. Quote, Marshall, they have size and 2 elite guards, but have been at home for a long time with Joe Reese back. I think it'll be tight. Herd's offense is scary. Screw that, Beaver. Erase it. Give me the Dukes minus 2.5. Yo, Day Grant, Jimmy Clark, Trey Williams, all those boys from Duquesne. And like I said, Joe Reese is back and in the fold. I know a lot of people don't know these teams. Marshall is actually very, very pretty damn good. They lost their first game of the year. They've been on an absolute tear. The only team that they saw that's kind of like Duquesne as far as like down in the good graces of Ken Palm, I should say, is Akron. They beat them by 11. That's what it's all about for Marshall is the offense. Score a lot of points, but neither team shoots free throws really well. That bothers me. The Duquesne defense does bother me a little bit, but like I said, I think with Joe Reese getting back and stuff like stuff like that will make it life a little bit easier on that Duquesne defense. Look, it's just really hard for me to get behind a Marshall team that hasn't done well. The only road game they played was their first game of the year, which they lost to 208 Queens. And then Duquesne has been playing really well at home, and they might be just a little bit undervalued because the only loss on the year for Duquesne is Kentucky. So again, they're not playing teams like Marshall and stuff every day. They had a similar game at UC Santa Barbara where they also won by 10. They also whooped up on Colgate by 5-2. Really quickly with Duquesne too, I talked about the Marshall offense. Actually, Ken Palm has the Duquesne offense a little bit better as far as adjusted efficiency. Duquesne's 53rd. So I think we have the better offense and a defense that, is a little bit susceptible at times, and the Marshall defense does scare me, but I think with Joe Reese back, it helps. So give me the Dukes here. I don't love it, though, because obviously they're taking money, but the lines move, so we'll see what happens. Colorado State, Colorado. This one, I think it's really hard to get to a side here for me. Both teams have played pretty well, I guess. I don't know. Colorado State, I didn't really expect much. Mr. Medved out there in Fort Collins. Again, I hear he's like this team, Charleston. They lost to Charleston. It seems like everybody loses to Charleston and Charleston. They lost to Penn State, who lost a really tough game to Michigan State last night. And then Northern Colorado, who is pretty decent. I mean, they're in for their division. It doesn't look great for Colorado State here. Colorado, on the other hand, though, doesn't, if you look at their schedule, you don't see a lot of confidence either. Somehow, some way, they were able to beat Tennessee and Texas A&M on a neutral. Kind of weird. They also lost Washington, Arizona State, Boise State, UMass, Grambling. That's a really, really tough schedule, though. I'm pretty sure that's top 25 in the country schedule. It's the 25th hardest schedule in the country. I like this game over 141 or 143. I think both teams kind of score. Neither team shoots free throws very well, but like I said, I think both teams rebound pretty decently. The Colorado State offense has actually just been pretty damn effectively as far as like the metrics are concerned. 14th in effective field goal percentage. They don't turn the ball over, on number 11th in the country in turnover percentage. And at 2-point, in their 2-point percentage, they're almost at 58%. So, and then Colorado, on the other hand, with KJ Simpson and Tristan Da Silva and Neat Clifford, I like them. They're pretty tall as well. Like I said, they have a little bit of a rebounding advantage. So I think we see points here. Again, don't really love this game. It's just kind of hard to get a read on because both teams haven't looked great to start the year. But I think a little bit of points won't do us right in this little bit of an in-state rivalry.
If you had to pick a side in this game, which side do you ride on? What?
Probably Colorado, just because they're at home and they're off 2 top 100 losses in Washington and Arizona State. I would assume they get the job done.
Alrighty, that's all for our show today, Chiefs.
Actually, Beaver, really quickly, somebody asked me about the St. Thomas game, and I'm going to pull it up really quick. I know they're playing Montana State, but I'm actually pulling it up on the shot quality really quickly. I just wanted to see because I know that he was going to ask. Okay, pretty big lean. Shot quality has a pretty big lean to Montana State here in this one. I don't have the line in front of me, but let me see what KenPom makes it. KenPom makes it 5, so I'm assuming it's anywhere from 5.5 to 7. Probably lean Montana State in that one, just because they're at home. Man, look, if you guys don't know about St. Thomas, they're kind of new, but they've actually done pretty well. It's just that when they've played these teams that's not 200 or worse, they kind of get throttled at times. They played Creighton really close in the first game of the year. That's kind of got some, like, within 12. Then they got killed by Montana, and they got killed by Utah. They have a lot of wins. They do have a win against Troy in there that kind of throws things off. They shoot the ball lights out. There's no question about that. 6th in effective field goal percentage. Their 3-point percentage, they lights out from 3-point land, over 40% as a team. I actually think that number probably goes down, but it is what it is. Kendall Blue, Riley Miller, Andrew Rode, all 3 of those guys, pretty good. It's the Summit League guide. It's kind of hard for me to get a read on. I don't watch the Summit League a ton, but I do have had many plays on St. Thomas, so I do know offensively they're very sound. Montana State isn't obviously the best defensive team in the world, but they're much better, and St. Thomas doesn't play defense at all. So I assume Montana State's probably a little bit bigger than them in size. And then the last thing but not least, the experience. St. Thomas is like super, super, super young. They're like 343 in experience. So on the road against a Montana State team that's 1-3 of their last 4. I would assume they're trying to get. I mean, everybody is, but that's my spiel on that one. No show tomorrow. Like I said, guys, there's like nothing going on. There's like 20 games between the next 2 days in college basketball. So no show tomorrow. We'll be back on Monday. Same time, same place. I appreciate y'all. Have a good night.